Washington, D.C., a city built on power, secrets, and influence. Politicians come and go. Laws are written and rewritten, but in the shadows of the nation's capital, something else was growing, something older than modern politics, and far more silent than the Italian mafia families who ruled New York. A hidden criminal empire is built not on fame, but on invisibility. This is the story of the Greek mob, America's least known, yet most quietly dangerous crime syndicate. A network that stretched from the streets of Philadelphia into the very neighborhoods of Washington, D.C., a mafia so discreet that most Americans never even knew it existed until now. Before we continue with this untold story, if you enjoy hidden history, dark secrets, true crime documentaries, then I have a small request. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Your one click motivates us to bring even more powerful and well-researched content for you. And don't forget to like and share this video, so the truth that was hidden for decades can finally be heard. Also, press the bell icon so whenever we upload a new episode, you are the first one to get the notification. Let's begin. Before their shadow reached Washington, the Greek mob began in the rough corners of Philadelphia, a city already familiar with violence, unions, and organized crime. But unlike the Italian mafia, the Greeks didn't seek recognition. They didn't care about controlling headlines. They cared about controlling money. Their criminal world revolved around gambling, loan sharking, extortion, and nightclubs. All held together by an old-world loyalty that outsiders couldn't break. The Italian families underestimated them, a big mistake, because the Greek mob operated differently. There was no flamboyance, no flashy hits, and no newspapers calling them bosses. Just a quiet, methodical rise to power and a talent for staying hidden. This unique approach made them the perfect candidates to spread into places other mobs never dared to go, even into the heart of America's political universe. By the late 1970s and early 80s, the Greek mob had a reputation. It wasn't loud, but it was whispered in the right circles. In Washington, D.C., a city filled with diplomats, businessmen, political aides, and endless opportunities for illegal profit was ripe for the taking. They didn't arrive as a large, invading force. They came as individuals, owners of cafes, diners, liquor stores, and bars. On the surface, they were legitimate business owners. But in the back rooms, illegal gambling and money laundering thrived. Unlike the Italian mafia, which operated with a strict hierarchy and public ceremony, the Greeks blended into neighborhoods like ordinary immigrants chasing the American dream. But that dream hid a growing criminal ecosystem, a parallel underworld operating right under the nose of the United States government. Every mafia empire has a cornerstone. For the Greek mob, that cornerstone was Chelsea, Steve Bouras, man with a warm smile and an iron fist. Bouras was no street thug. He was an entrepreneur, a businessman, and a community leader. And behind the scenes, he was the undisputed godfather of the Greek mob. His criminal operations stretched from Philadelphia into Maryland, Virginia, and the edges of Washington, D.C. Politicians knew him. Union leaders respected him. Criminals feared him. Under Bouras, the Greek mob became something the Italian mafia never expected: organized, wealthy, and expanding. For Washington, that meant one thing: a new crime family had entered the game, and this time, it wasn't Italian. On the night of May 27, 1981, a quiet evening at a Greek restaurant in Philadelphia turned into a bloodbath. Steve Bouras, the man who built the empire, was shot dead in a sudden, brutal ambush. Chaos erupted. Police were stunned. And every mob family on the East Coast felt the earthquake. Who killed him? To this day, theories swirl. Some say it was a drug conflict. Others believe it was an internal power struggle. And many whisper that the Italian mafia finally decided to put the Greek mob back in its place. But his death did not end the empire. It only scattered it. And some of its most dangerous fragments move deeper into the shadows of Washington, D.C. now. Washington isn't your typical mafia city. There are no giant casinos, no docks to control, no massive unions to infiltrate, and no neighborhoods dominated by a single ethnic group. But Washington has something even more valuable: power, information, and corruption. It was the perfect soil for a quiet criminal network like the Greek mob to plant its roots. They learned to operate behind the cover of diplomatic immunity. Foreign visitors, private clubs, high-end restaurants, and immigrant-owned businesses. Here, money could be moved without drawing attention. Gambling rings could cater to lobbyists and government employees who had a lot to lose. Extortion was subtle, not a threat of violence, but a threat of exposure. The Greeks didn't need to rule Washington, they just needed to feed on it. And for decades, that's exactly what they did. By the 1990s, the Italian mafia was collapsing under immense pressure from the FBI. High-profile arrests and trials were breaking headlines daily. But the Greek mob? They were barely mentioned in reports, barely covered in newspapers, and rarely arrested. Their strength was their invisibility. They operated in small, independent groups, led by quiet leaders, all bound by family loyalty and old-world secrecy. The FBI knew they existed, they just couldn't pin them down. And so Washington, D.C. remained a silent playground for Greek gambling and money laundering. Because in the capital of the United States, power protects power. And sometimes, that even includes criminal power. Today, the Greek mob isn't the force it used to be. But it didn't vanish, it adapted. Many descendants of the old families still run businesses along the East Coast, restaurants, bars, and clubs. Some are legitimate, some perhaps not entirely. Washington, D.C. may no longer host the same overt criminal operations it once did. But the fingerprints of the Greek mob still remain in old case files, unsolved murders, and whispers in federal corridors. The Greek mob's power was never built on violence or fame. It was built on silence. And as we've seen, sometimes the quietest mafia is the most dangerous of all. Washington, D.C., a city of secrets. Some political, some criminal. Some buried so deep that history barely speaks their name. But today, the shadows of the Greek mob have finally been brought into the light. A hidden empire. A forgotten syndicate. A mafia that operated right beside America's most powerful institutions. And yet the world never knew. Until now. Thanks for watching. If you want to uncover more hidden stories like this one, make sure you're subscribed. See you in the next one.